Quick to adapt, we pivoted on a pinhead with agility and resilience. We thrived in the face of adversity, dug deep, converted obstacles into opportunities, and emerged with an invigorated mindset and a new resolve. And, as we've always done throughout our history as a profession, we harnessed that resilient spirit and passed it on to members, students, employers, global economies, and society as a whole. Out of disruption and chaos, we did what we always do. We led. We were influential advocates for COVID-19 relief and economic recovery across the globe, becoming the go-to resource for news, tools, guidance, and learning. We rolled out the CGMA Finance Leadership Program globally, a new online pathway to the CGMA designation, and launched remote testing of CIMA qualification exams for the first time. And we introduced new learning resources and tools on data analytics, digital strategy, and managing risk, shifting all CPD events to virtual platforms to prepare members to be future ready. We also ramped up our support for environmental, social, and governance reporting and assurance and risk mitigation, central issues to the profession's future role. On the jobs front, we posted nearly 1.3 million positions in the US, the UK, Europe, Asia, and Africa on the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants Global Career Hub. And as always, we kept our focus on advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion in the profession. We've brought confidence to individuals, organizations, and the world's financial systems. Our foresight and preparation helped transform our organization and the profession during this crisis. Change won't ever stop, but we can ride the momentum of this moment and create trust, opportunity, and prosperity in new, innovative ways. We were ready, we adapted, and we will continue to thrive.
Asim! Yan ang panga-ngasim.
Ang kiliti sa panga mula sa crunchy asim ng Oishi Cracklings.
Asim! Sarap! Panga-ngasim Oishi Cracklings.
If symptoms persist, bilhin na sa sukang tindahan.
Paano maging hot? Mag-spicy Oishi prawn crackers. Just feel it, flex it, and fire it up. Ba't ka mahihiya when you're hot? Spicy Oishi prawn crackers. Itodo ang hotness.
Nilamon ng kakanood magdamag, lumamon ng Oishi crispy patata. Lalamunin mo sa sarap. May something.
Some transactions, like big cash deposits, can't be done online or through the ATM, so you really need to go to the bank. In these cases, you need to be in and out as fast as you can. Introducing EasyWay, East West's expanded transaction channel, the faster way to process your transactions even before you get to the bank. Here's how. Before leaving your home for any of these transactions, simply contact us via SMS, Viber, Messenger, or email. Indicate the kind of transaction and include the necessary information. You'll receive a unique transaction reference number once confirmed. Your transaction will be ready when you get there. Simply show the transaction reference number or give your account number to the teller. You're in and out in no time, so you can spend more time for the things you want and need to do. For faster, easier transactions at any of our stores, there's an easy way.
Narito ang ilang common challenges sa pag-generate ng financial reports manually. Sa OneTax Plus, di mo na kailangang problemahin ang mga ito. Sa Plus, mas madaling i-manage at i-view ang reports dahil sa mga filter na available sa platform. Maaari mo ring i-export o i-download ang reports sa iba't ibang format. At pwede mo ring i-drill down ang total at i-reclass ang mga transaction. Narito ang pwede mo pang ma-experience sa paggamit ng OneTax Plus. Ito naman ang mga financial report na pwede mong i-generate sa platform. Easy lang, di ba? Pag in-automate ang financial reports sa OneTax Plus. Sign up na at plus.one.tax.
Hey, look up. Mark your calendars this December. The solution that lets you work anytime, anywhere, while being compliant with the Bureau. But here's the best part. It has optical character recognition. Be online all the time, whenever and wherever you like. Experience Cloud9 with Q&E Cloud Accounting.
Harvest Agribusiness Corporation was established in 1997, then as a distributor of high-quality hybrid seeds. From there, the various difficulties and challenges faced by the Filipino farmer were revealed to us, pushing our development of various products for each one. Today, our catalog of solutions include quality seeds for better productivity, agri-plastics for soil and seedling health, sustainable crop nutrition and protection inputs, climate-resilient greenhouse and irrigation systems, labor-efficient machines like tractors and drones, and many more. With 8 branches and over 100 dealers and partners throughout the Philippines, we bring these products to Filipino farmers nationwide.
What started as an institutional forum among a small group of professional accountants in 1973, the Association of Certified Public Accountants in Commerce and Industry, or ACPAC, has now turned out to be one of the respective organizations contributing to the growth of the accountancy profession in the country. Composed of CFOs, comptrollers, finance officers, chief accountants, internal auditors, and officers and staff in finance and other departments of top private corporations, ACPAC remains to be the biggest and premier organization of CPAs in commerce and industry sector, primarily serving the professional development needs of its members, as well as advancing the relevance, value, and ascendancy of the accountancy profession in order to continue to be an indispensable ally of the government in nation building. Through the years, ACPAC continues to seek and pursue effective ways of advancing and upgrading the professional development of professional accountants in the commerce and industry sector through seminars, training, discussions, research, and dynamic exchange of knowledge among its members. ACPAC assists its members in addressing common problems in accounting, information system, business finance, administration, and management, and help them render sound, effective business decisions. ACPAC promotes high professionalism and adherence to established ethical standards in the performance of services and responsibilities. ACPAC creates for its members an environment of learning, social relevance, and fellowship.
Accountancy has been acknowledged as the driver of all economic enterprises and accountants, the recognized guardians of business and industry. Where there is money, commerce, business, and financial transactions, there is the practice of accountancy. Any fully functional business, say a posh hospital, a humble school, an expansive construction empire, will all have one thing in common: an accountant at their service. That makes us at PICPA the all-important flowing oil that grease all the gears of the economy of our country. We are PICPA, the Philippine Institute of Certified Public Accountants.
A blessed morning, everyone. Welcome to our day 4 of the summit. But before we start, we'd like to thank our sponsors for supporting this event. Our co-presenters, PICPA Metro Manila Geographical Area Office, PICPA Metro Manila Region, Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, Owishi, oh wow, Liwayway Marketing. Our gold sponsors, BOPI Manufacturing Corporation, East West Bank, One Tax. Our silver sponsors, AB Institute of Accounting Philippines, Boysen Paint Philippines Inc., Court Meridian Hotel and Suites Subic Bay, Clio International Marketing Corporation, Nutritive Snack Foods Corporation, Progressive Poultry Supply Corporation, Q&E Software Philippines, CBAS Carriers Incorporated, TOA Global, and our bronze sponsors, Asian Institute of Taxation, Harvest Agribusiness Corporation, and Strategic Dimension Company. We'd like to inform everyone that there's a career fair corner in the WUVA platform where you can visit for job postings and job offerings with our sponsors. All the video presentation in the summit can be accessed within 3 months period from the date of publication here at WUVA platform. So you can watch it over and over again using the link we provided you in joining this summit. We'd like also to inform everyone that you will earn a total of 15 CPD units for this summit, or 1.5 CPD units per session. We will also issue you a certificate of attendance to support your application for CPD, but you must first is pre-register. This is the one that you accomplish through Google Form. We would just like to request you to make sure that the person who is registered in Google Form is the one, syempre, attending the webinar. You have to answer the pre and post test. The link will be posted in the chat box later. Accomplish the post evaluation survey through Google Form that we will launch after closing remarks to entitle you to a certificate of attendance. We'd like also to remind everyone to please observe proper etiquette while joining the session, especially the following. First, there should be no sharing of webinar materials. Second, use the Q&A chat box for the questions. And third, there should also be no personal advertisement that should be posted in the chat room. Your compliance is greatly appreciated. So as mentioned earlier, one of the requirements for you to completely earn CPD units is the participation in answering the pre-test. You can find the link in our chat box. Please answer the pre-test now. We'll give you 10 seconds for all the participants to answer. If you have a question, Please post them in the chat box. We'll have representatives to respond to your questions. Okay, so now, ladies and gentlemen, again, good morning. The Philippine Institute of Certified Public Accountants, Commerce and Industry Sector, Association of CPAs in Commerce and Industry, or ACPACIF, Metro Manila Geographical Area Office, Metro Manila Region, Committee on SMPs, SMEs, and Committee on Professional Development welcome everyone to session 1 of the PICPA National Business and Career Summit with the theme, Play It Forward, Securing a Sustainable Future. I am Mai Sige Desnar, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies in this morning's session. As we start this significant event, which is another milestone in the history of PICPA, may we request everyone to please rise for the invocation and lift it to the Lord to all our intentions.
Most gracious God, our Heavenly Father, we thank you for gathering us today to celebrate another milestone. We are aware that we could not see this incredible success come to fruition without the individual purpose you have put in each person present here today. Thank you for bringing us together to accomplish this remarkable feat for your glory. Bestow your grace and divine wisdom to all of us. Remind us of your faithful provision when our efforts fall short. And may all glory go up to you when you reach the finish line and climb over success. Please help us to find the guiding light we're always set out to accomplish and triumph. Grant us courage and perseverance to work together in achieving our organizational goals by demonstrating our personal and collective best. As the pandemic continues to challenge the way we operate, guide us, Lord, in bringing new approaches that will require changes in our mindsets and attitudes. Remind us always to abide by the right values and observe and comply with responsible business practice, one that is transparent, empowering to teams, and providing learning and growth opportunities for everyone. Continue, Lord, to motivate us to serve our stakeholders well, that through our efforts and sound and relevant advice, we enable businesses to succeed and reach their potential, to contribute positively to the community. May all of us have a clear sense of our purpose, driven not only by strategy, but by our fundamental belief that in everything, we should do what is right, because our work is a blessing from you, Lord, and how we use this blessing is our service to you and others. All glory and honor to you, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Now, to formally open and warmly welcome us to the summit, may I call on the Regional Sectoral Representative, PICPA MMR Commerce and Industry, Mr. Jovito V. Hertes, to deliver his welcome message.
Distinguished participants, dear friends and colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. On behalf of PICPA Commerce and Industry Sector, it is my great pleasure and privilege to welcome all of you to our 4th day of Nationwide Business and Career Summit. We highly appreciate each and every one of you for your continued support and active participation. Currently, the environment we live in is rapidly changing. The Industrial Revolution continues to integrate technologies, wherein there is an increasing demand for the use of sophisticated technologies that will enhance our traditional way of living, as well as performing our professional role as accountants. As we adapt to this fast-changing world, we are set to continue playing forward, embrace possibilities, and realizing potential in order for us to secure a sustainable future. It is for this reason why it's gratifying to note that today's agenda covers a wide range of interesting and informative topics. We are privileged to have with us three resource speakers that will surely impart their knowledge and expertise on the following topics, such as applying smart investing strategies for us CPAs, unlocking cryptocurrencies, and of course, the secrets of the rich and successful. These topics will surely enrich our abilities, knowledge, and skills, both professionally and personally, as we secure a stronger and sustainable future. I believe that by participating in this webinar, we are in the right place and in the right time. Together, let us accelerate the exchange of ideas and scaling up of good practices. We are all confident that you will find new ideas, fresh energy, and your inputs will be very much appreciated. Friends, together, let's make the most out of today's summit. Muli po, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat.
Maraming salamat, JJ. And moving on to our technical session 1, we will have, for technical session 1, we'll have 2 mini sessions. So it's from 10 to 12. So meron tayong first speaker from 10 to 11, another speaker from 11 to 12. And that's only for technical session 1. So are you ready now? So we will dwell on the topic for this technical session 1, the first topic, part 1, applying smart investing strategies specifically for CPAs. To introduce our resource speaker, she will also facilitate the Q&A later. May I please call on Ms. Joanne Marie Makainag Cobacha, Director of Eastern Metro Manila Chapter. John?
Good morning, everyone. Our first resource speaker for this morning session is Ms. April L. Tan. Ms. April is the first Vice President, Corporate Strategy, and Chief Investor Relations Officer of Call Financial, the largest online stockbroker in the Philippines. She is also the company's Chief Equity Strategist. As Chief Equity Strategist, she regularly writes market strategy reports, conducts presentations, and appears in local business programs as a resource person for stock market matters. In 2019, she was voted as Best Strategist by the Fund Managers Association of the Philippines. She also used to head Call's research team, which covers more than 60% of the total market capitalization of the Philippines Stock Exchange. Outside of her work at Call Financial, April writes a weekly column named Intelligent Investing for the Philippine Daily Inquirer and hosts the TV show Inside with April D. Tan for ANC, both of which focus on the stock market, business, and personal finance topics. In 2019, her column was chosen as a finalist for the Best Business Column in the 41st Catholic Mass Media Award. April is an active member of the Chartered Financial Analyst Society of the Philippines, or CFA Philippines. She headed the Society's Investment Research Challenge Committee for 11 years, during which CFA Philippines won the Global CFA Institute Research Challenge thrice, besting more than 1,000 teens from 98 countries around the world. She was also the Society's president from 2009 to 2016. Under her term as a president, CFA Philippines won several Society Excellence Awards, including the Most Outstanding Society for its size. The Society also became the country sponsor for the Global Investment Performance Standards, or the GIPS, together with the local Fund Managers Association of the Philippines and the Trust Officers Association of the Philippines. She received her Bachelor of Science in Management Engineering degree from Ateneo de Manila University. April became a CFA charter holder in 2000. Everyone, let's all welcome our resource speaker, Ms. April Lynn L. Tan.
Hello, good morning everyone, and thank you, Joan, for your kind introduction, and thank you to the attendees, to PICPA, for inviting me this morning to talk about my views on smart investing strategies. So the title is supposed to be Smart Investing Strategies for CPA, but what I'm going to share today is not only relevant for CPAs, but also for all types of investors, no? Because you may be a CPA, you may be very knowledgeable about finance and, analyzing companies. But then we also have to take into consideration a lot of things when it comes to investing, including your temperament, your risk appetite, etc., or your stage in your career, whether you are somebody who is very busy, doesn't have time to analyze, or somebody who really is very involved when it comes to picking investments. So at this point, let me just share my screen before I begin. Okay, so let me begin by, when you start to invest, what is the most important question? So I feel that the most important question that you should try to answer is, what type of investor are you? Okay. So kasi if you're a conservative investor, no, iba yung strategy mo versus somebody who is like a passive investor or an active investor. So I think for me, that's the most important question you should ask yourself. So let's talk about the different types of investors and potential strategies for them. Okay, first of all, are you a conservative investor? Okay, what do I mean by a conservative investor? A conservative investor is somebody who is nervioso, has a very low risk appetite. The tolerance for risk is very low. Let's say, you can't take the volatility, di ka makatulog. Kasi, stocks are very volatile. And if prices go down by, say, 5%, you're going to be very nervous already. So a conservative investor is somebody who buys investments just because they want to earn something a little bit more than what they're earning from the bank. Because we know that right now bank deposits earn very little, no? I think even time deposits at most at this time, when we're already seeing bond rates go up significantly, since the banks are so awash with cash, the best bank deposit rate that I've seen is 3%, no? And maybe 6% when it comes to, say, Maya Bank, no? Yung mga ganun lang siya. So, it's not really very high, okay? So what can you do? I mean, how can you boost the returns that you generate? Okay? You could actually buy stocks that provide relatively steady dividends and yields that are higher than bonds and time deposits. So yeah, so when you go to the stock market and you go to the PSE, what can you do? So meron yan, mga instruments that are a little bit riskier than time deposits and bonds, but can provide higher yields. And these would be your preferred shares, and real estate investment trusts. And the good news is the tax on cash dividends is only 10%, no? Kasi ang returns na binibigay ng or the coupons that are given by the preferred shares and real estate investment trusts are actually dividends or part of their earnings, which is why they're taxed at only 10%. And of course, if you use a corporate vehicle to buy them, you actually don't have to pay any taxes. Okay. And it's 20% for interest income of bonds and time deposits. So you actually have a little bit of savings there. Okay. So what are preferred shares? You might already know this. They are part of the company's equity or parang magiging shareholder ka, pag-aari. It's considered like pag-aari sa kumpanya. But the difference with the preferred share compared to a common share is that you don't have voting rights. And you receive a fixed annual cash dividend as long as the company is profitable. So alam naman natin, if you are a common shareholder or common stockholder, the annual cash dividends might be more variable depending on the level of profitability of the company. But as a preferred shareholder, your annual cash dividends is fixed. And usually when the company issues the preferred stock, they already tell you what type of cash dividends you can expect, so long as these preferred shares continue to exist, no? Kasi sometimes they will be redeemed, no? Kasi they also have a term anyway. So compared to the common stockholders, preferred shareholders have a greater claim on assets. But compared to bondholders, the claim is less. And this is only in the event of liquidation, or let's say the company becomes bankrupt. No? What about REITs? I mean, what about REITs naman? REITs are real estate investment trusts. Okay. And they are publicly listed companies that own, operate, or finance income-generating real assets, okay, such as apartments, offices, malls, hotels, and warehouses. So, parang ganito yan. Tayo mga Pilipino, we love to buy properties, di ba? Sabi natin, investments yan. Mga investment natin. So, ang ginagawa natin, we buy properties and after we buy them, we lease them out. No? So, itong REITs, they're just a bigger example of parang ginawa na siyang companies. Tapos si company, marami siyang ari-arian na pinapaupa. Okay. But sometimes, of course, it's not only paupa. We also have potentially in the future some other types of REITs that are income generating. But then, the income that they generate are steady. And these could be like toll roads in the future. No? Mga ganun lang naman ang mga examples. Basta yun yung concept. There's this company with a lot of assets that, they lease out and they generate income. And the beauty of being REIT, so why not just set up a company? First is setting up a real estate investment trust. The beauty of REITs is they do not have to pay income taxes. But to enjoy this benefit, the REITs would have to pay 90% of their taxable income as cash dividends, which is why in some ways, some people may prefer to buy REITs over property companies because at least sa REITs, pag kumita sila, babayaran ka nila agad or by law. They are required to do that. Otherwise, they will lose their income tax benefit. And aside from that, 33% of REITs have to be owned by the public. They have to be listed in the PSE, in other words. Okay. So anyway, so as far as preferred shares are concerned, here are the yields that they have, okay? So I just want to explain, okay, usually when you go to your stock brokerage, you will see a list of preferred shares that you can invest in. Ayan. Tapos, meron siyang price. Okay, so that is, what was the latest price that a share was transacted, no? And then, meron tayong tinatawag na callable date. Bakit? Ano ibig sabihin ng callable date? Okay, Kasi usually these preferred shares are perpetual, meaning that they don't have an expiration date, but the company has the option to call them. Ibig sabihin, i-redeem na niya. So when they redeem the preferred share, they will return your capital. Okay? So here are the callable dates. And what is the incentive for these companies to actually call or redeem the preferred shares? Usually kasi when during the callable date or there is a step up feature where the yields will have to be increased. Okay? So minsan, instead of increasing the yield that they will pay to the preferred shareholders, the company would actually rather issue new preferred shares, or they would issue new bonds, or just borrow money from the bank. So they don't have to pay more to the preferred shareholders. So usually, so far, most companies usually redeem during the callable date, which is why instead of yield to maturity, we use a yield to call computation. Okay, so ayan, yan yung mga so far as of September 27, that's the yield to call, no? So you can see there are those with higher yield to calls as high as 7.2% for Petron. San Miguel is a 6.7. So matataas naman siya, no, relative to mga bank deposits right now. Okay, and now we have the yields of REITs, okay? So as you can see, the yields of our REITs are also quite high, as high as 9.8% for VREIT, okay? And yun na nga, this was as of September 27, but I think as of yesterday, mas mataas pa siya because the prices of the REITs have gone down. So later, I'll be talking more about them, no, when we talk about the risks facing mga REITs, no? Bakit ba nangyaring ganun ang tataas ng mga dividend yield? So later, we can talk more about it. Okay, so what are the risks facing mga preferred shares, preferred shareholders? So although when they issue the preferred shares, they guarantee certain, hindi naman guarantee, but they talk about annual cash dividends that they pay, no? But although these are somewhat guaranteed as long as they are profitable, they might delay the payment if they lose money, no? In the event that they lose money, they have the option of not paying muna or delaying it, no? So kung this year biglang nalugi kasi masama yung business, so next year then they will pay the preferred cash dividends when they become profitable already, no? Yun na nga, and as I said earlier, the claim on assets is lower than that of bondholders in the event of a liquidation. So yun na nga, pagka na-bankrupt. And then so I talked about the callable date earlier, when they might redeem your preferred shares and then they return your capital. There is a possibility that the preferred or the issuer of the preferred shares or the company might not redeem the preferred shares during the callable date. And when does this happen? Well, if the company is encountering some problems, di ba? And mukhang mahihirapan silang bumalik sa market to raise the capital, or wala silang pera pang bayad. So in that case, then they might as well, or in their minds, they will just pay higher coupons. Pag nahirapan talaga yung company, they might not redeem. So that said, it's very important for us to also take into consideration the background of the company who is issuing the preferred shares. Huwag kayong bili ng preferred shares just because you see that the yield is very high. So that should not be the only consideration. And also, how do you know if if they will delay the payment only of the cash dividends or they don't have any obligation to pay it? We have what you call a cumulative or a non-cumulative. When it's cumulative, ibig sabihin, if they don't pay it this year, they have to pay it next year, no? Yung delay lang. If it's non-cumulative, if they don't pay 1 year, the next year, they don't have to pay it, no? Okay, now let's talk about the REITs. So the risk facing REITs is the rental income can go down for the rental properties, and this could lead to lower cash dividends. Because earlier on, I talked about how these REITs pay out, diba? It's based on the at least 90% of income they have to pay out. So if yung income bumaba, then they will pay less, diba? So if the outlook for, say, a certain property sector is not good, okay, then may chance bumaba siya. Okay? So right now, nagtataka kayo, bakit mahina ang mga REITs? Last year, ang lakas-lakas nila, no? One of the reasons right now is because there are concerns that the rents of the REITs could go down because diba ngayon there are news that the POGOs might be asked to leave the country. And aside from that, kasi a lot of our REITs are office leasing, are into the office leasing business, and so a lot of the offices or the BPOs are looking for PEZA accredited offices, which these REITs have. So yung PEZA, medyo hindi tinatamaan ng slowdown sa offices yan because the BPOs really want these PEZA accredited offices. The problem is right now there is news that the tax benefits of these PEZA offices will also be available under BOI. So of course, we don't know whether the BPOs will move from PEZA accredited offices to non-PEZA accredited offices and just shift their registrations to the BOI. So there is this concern right now, which is why the share price is a little weak. Okay, because of concerns that the income that can be generated could go down. And aside from that, we know that interest rates are going up, and because of that, of course, may ibang options. Therefore, the yields on REITs have to go up to compensate for the higher interest rate environment. Aside from that, of course, poor market conditions can lead to volatile share prices. Okay. So how to mitigate the risk? As discussed earlier, don't just buy preferred shares and REITs that provide the highest yields. Okay, kailangan mas maging discerning tayo. Preferred shares, as I discussed earlier, are they cumulative or non-cumulative? So we want to avoid yung mga non-cumulative kasi pag hindi ka niyang binayaran, ibig sabihin hindi ka na niya kailangan bayaran. Okay? And then on the REITs, study the portfolio of assets to determine its sensitivity to present market conditions. So as I said earlier, right now, the concern really is in the office space. So maybe you could pick a REIT that is not in the offices if you want to avoid the risk that offices are facing right now. Okay, so the next type of investor is the passive investor. Okay, well, what is the difference between a passive investor and a conservative investor? So a passive investor is actually more of a risk taker. Willing siya mag-take ng risk, no? Pero that said, a passive investor is somebody who has a full-time job, who is very busy, na wala siyang time mag-analyze ng stocks at mag-stock picking, mamili. No? So, I mean, it's willing to take the volatility but it doesn't have a time or, wala lang. Basta gusto niya, ayan, mag-invest na lang ako, tapos kayo nang bahala dyan. Okay? If you're a passive investor who just wants to, participate in the growth of, say, the Philippine economy, you don't have time to manage money, you can just buy mutual funds. Or actually, if you buy them, they're called unit investment trust funds in the banks, no? So what are mutual funds? Well, mutual funds kasi are the collective funds of a lot of investors. So they pull it all together, and because of that, it's worth a lot, like several billions. And parang kayo collectively, you give it to an asset management company, and they have professional fund managers who will manage these funds. So because the asset size is so big, they have the option, or they can diversify your investment already, and it's very affordable because you can buy shares in mutual funds and unit investment trust funds for a few thousands. In fact, some of them are already offering the possibility of buying shares in mutual funds and unit investment trust funds for only a few hundred pesos, no? So that's the beauty of it, no? And you can actually do a peso cost averaging. So that's my own personal recommendation for your strategy. Since yun na nga, busy kayo, hindi nyo na maisip kung ano bang bibili nyo on a month, you don't have time to actually keep on monitoring your portfolio. What you just do is you consistently set aside 20% of your salary every month for investments. And, you want to make sure you do it na hindi yun na kailangan pag-isipan pa. You could actually automate the process, no? Na every payday, set aside an amount or a percentage that you will move to another account which automatically buys mutual funds for you, so that there's no second guessing. You won't be tempted to I'll just delay my savings. So mabibili siya talaga, magiging disciplined every month, and that's really good because at least the next thing after so many years, ang dami mo na palang naipon tapos lumaki na yung pera mo. Okay, so here, what are possible funds that you can pick for your portfolio? So usually kami, when it comes to passive investors, we recommend equity index funds. So COL Financial has a fund distribution platform, which is the COL Fund Source, and we actually carry a lot of equity funds in our portfolio. So you can pick one of the equity index funds depending on the fund manager that you like, 'di ba? Pwede namang let's say you like Sun Life, or you like BPI, or you like PhilAm, 'di ba? So pili na lang kayo kung sinong mas gusto nyo, and then you can buy their index funds for your portfolio. Bakit index funds? Kasi index funds are usually cheaper in terms of management fee, and the reason why they can do that is because they will just have to replicate the performance of the index. So, gagayahin lang nila yung laman ng index. So, mas simple siya in that respect. Kasi manghirap pagka pipili ka pa ng fund manager, di ba? You still have to evaluate if the fund manager is really good. And sometimes kung magaling ang fund manager, mahal sila maningil. So, dito na lang tayo sa a more neutral strategy. Okay. Ayan. So, peso cost averaging, like I talked about it later. So, the good news is COL Financial also has that option for you to create a peso cost averaging strategy by creating this EIP calendar for mutual funds. Ayan. So, you enter your fund code, yung napili nyo, ayan, may code siya. Pag kinlik nyo, makikita nyo siya. And then, the amount that you would like to allocate, say, every month. And then, how long do you want to keep at it? Ayan. So, lalabas din dito yung background, no, nung index fund or whatever fund that you chose, just to make sure you pick the right fund. Okay. So, you may also consider a core satellite strategy. Let's say you're starting to invest pa lang, you don't have a lot of money, or you don't have a lot of stock picks. There are certain stocks that you really like, but they're not enough to make a diversified portfolio, of course, which is very risky. So pwede rin naman na 80% of your funds is in an index fund, and then 20% is in individual stocks that you like. Okay. Yun. So these stock picks can potentially drive out performance. So, yun, minsan, bakit ba, ano ba yung mga opportunities na meron? Yun, minsan may steep market sell-offs yan. So, naging sobrang mura yung stock, gusto nyong bilhin. Okay? Or there's a hot IPO that you have a strong conviction about, that you feel will be a winning IPO that will make a lot of money for you. Or other anecdotal evidence pointing to a company's improving growth prospects na feeling mo talaga in the next 5 years it will perform very well, no? So those are the reasons why you may want to consider, buying individual stocks, but not you don't have enough stock picks to create a diversified portfolio. If that is the case, then you could have a core, which is your index fund, then a satellite, a few stocks that you like that could create your core satellite strategy. Okay, then finally, we have the active investor. So ito yung mga talagang mahihilig mag-stock pick and those who want to decide what stocks talaga to invest. Yun. Yung maraming oras, tsaka yung mahihilig talaga like every day, they look at their portfolios. But that said, I think the temptation is there to buy the fast-moving stocks. Yung mga exciting, di ba? But we recommend for you, if you are an active investor, to buy companies with attractive growth prospects and managed by people you trust. And very importantly, they must be trading at cheap valuations. Huwag bibili ng mga mahal na mga companies kasi they are vulnerable to losses. Avoid buying based on tips, although of course this is very exciting because usually they're the fast-moving stocks. Aside from that, adopt different trading strategies depending on the stage of the market. Umiiba kasi yung condition ng market. Yeah, minsan bull market, minsan bear market. So, as an active investor, you have to know how to adapt, no, so that you can generate profitable investments. And sa amin, of course, there's always this argument: what's better, fundamental analysis or technical analysis? I'm actually more of a fundamental analyst. Okay, and most likely since you're CPAs, you are also fundamental analyst. Pinag-aaralan natin yung mga ano nangyayari sa economy, ano nangyayari sa industries, and also the companies individually in determining whether we want to buy a stock. But that said, I think we should also respect the charts, yung mga technical analysts. Because by using both disciplines, we are able to boost returns. Anyway, okay, so talking about speculative stocks. So, bakit cautious kami? Okay. At saka tong isang thing is also we want to explain to people why speculative stocks go up and down. At minsan bakit tayo nagkakamali, no? Madalas kong na-encounter to sa mga clients eh. So usually, a stock will go up very sharply because of news or rumors of new developments that could lead to significant increase in profitability. So yung medyo recent is the third telco, di ba, si Tito Telecommunities. So the share price really went up sharply kasi na-excite yung tao. Wow, it's gonna be third telco, no? So yon. Or let's say may bagong parang GCash. So, yan. Tapos tataas yung share price, di ba? Other businesses that are engaged in similar businesses as the strong stock. Remember, during the pandemic, malalakas yung mga tech companies in the US. So, syempre, pag nagsabi ka, you're going to enter into tech businesses, stay-at-home stocks, ganon. So, ayan, sige, aakyat yung share price. So, what happens, no? Bakit siya bumababa? When the news turns into reality, prices go down because the value can be computed. Yan. So, pagka nag-start na mag-operate, tapos, sige, compute mo na. Ay, parang hindi yata kikita to, mahal yata yung share price. So, wala. And second, it normally takes time for businesses to generate profits on a sustainable basis. So, for example, dito, bago siya kumita, before, when they were just talking about the third telco, being the third telco play, the share price went up sharply. But then now, mahina na yung share price. Why? Because the company is losing money. And it's not because they don't have subscribers. They do have subscribers. It's just that, they have to make a lot of investments. And even though they already have a lot of subscribers, it's still kulang for them to become profitable on a sustainable basis. Alam naman natin yung important for a share price is the profits, and we want the profits to be growing on a consistent basis. And finally, rumors don't materialize. Puro chismis, pero hindi naman nagkatotoo. So ayan, this one is an example. If you want a chart to see what happens, usually you'll have that speculation phase. Yung wala pa yung reality, so tataas siya kasi speculation. And then next is, ayan, nagkatotoo na yung speculation. Pero of course, as I've said, mahirap pala magnegosyo. Nalulugi pala muna. Yung mga ganon. Execution risk, yun yung mga naiisip. So wala. And then, finally, if the company really becomes profitable, nag-materialize lahat ng mga sinabi, then it will go up again, even exceeding the previous high. So an example of this is Globe Telecom. So if you look at it in the 1990s, nagtumaas din siya because of speculation. And then it went down initially because of course they encountered a lot of challenges until eventually, I remember before, no, kasi 'di ba may PhilTel tayo yung dati. So mas mura kasi ang analog eh. Yung 'di ba, ang Globe parang mahal yan because it's digital. But then there were a lot of fraudulent activities where the bills of people who had PhilTel mataas, no? So nangyari, nag-shift yung mga tao sa digital because they felt that it was more secure. And then of course the profitability of Globe went up. Plus of course nagkaroon mga prepaid, nagkaroon ng the handsets of the phones became cheaper. So you know, more and more people were subscribing or were getting cellular phone services. And then of course the share price went up sharply since then. Okay, and yun na nga, earlier on I talked about changing investment strategies depending on the stage of the market. Okay, so of course we have the bull market and the bear market. And of course when you have the bull market, meron tayong early bull market, late bull market, tapos sa bear market, early bear market, and late bear market. So I don't have a lot of time, so you can look at this chart. Actually, pag naintindihan nyo to, yayaman kayo. Kasi you will know what the right strategy is and you know what are some of the signs that are there. Okay? So when it's the early bull market, that is the time when you could do a buy and hold. Kasi ano eh, parang ano pa lang, it's early pa lang, the prices are still cheap, etc. Tapos yung earnings pa-recover pa lang. Yan. And then mid to late bull market, medyo lahat naniniwala na bull market yan. So that said, medyo mas a little bit, we should adopt a little bit more caution. You can still make a lot of money, but we should be a little bit faster. And of course, during the late bull market, as you can see, there's instant wealth, euphoria, mga taong kahit walang alam sa stock market, kung sino-sino na lang gustong makisawsaw. That is already a warning sign that we are in the late stages of a bull market. And that said, yung mga fear of missing out, yan, we should already start locking in the gains. And then during an early bear market, we should avoid, okay? Because the trend is going down. So pag bumili ka, malamang malulugi ka lang. Ganyan. Medyo avoid muna tayo. So dito tayo sa medyo mid to late bear market stage, to consider to start accumulating, slow accumulation of stocks because the prices are quite cheap. And sometimes, you know, the share prices are very, very volatile, which is why I also recommend some range trading for active investors. O yan. So just some examples. Late bull market, you have the US dollar. I feel that the US dollar is in the late bull market stage because first of all, it seems to be a crowded trade right now. Parang lahat ng tao, consensus view na, oh, strong US dollar because the Fed is you know, set to increase interest rates sharply. But my worry, why I'm saying that I feel like it's a crowded trade, it's late bull market, and you should either do a trailing stop or lock in gains na if you are speculating on the currency, is because you know, there are so many signs that the US economy is headed for a hard landing. And I won't be surprised if the Fed will stop tightening ahead of schedule. Of course, they talk about how they will increase interest rates to around 4.6% next year and keep it there. But I won't be surprised either if they don't reach that level and they decide we have to hold or cut. So if that happens, there is a strong likelihood that the dollar bull market will come to an end. especially with how sharp the increase has been. Okay, early bear market. I feel that the US stock market is still in an early bear market. So as you can see, the prices have increased sharply since 2020, no? And although ang laki na ng binaba niya, people who had bought in 2020 are still making a lot of money. Diba? And yun na nga, I talked about the steep rise in interest rates and the repercussions it would have on the economy. Yun na nga, when I look at the valuations of US stocks, I feel that they are not yet that cheap. They are only fair. And the earnings of companies in the US are still vulnerable to downgrades. So for me, I'm not too keen about buying US stocks at this point. For the Philippines, not because we're Pinoys that I'm being nationalistic, no? Pero in all honesty, I feel like we are in a bear market, but more of the late stage bear market. Because as you can see, since 2017, no, yung chart ko, we peaked at around mga 9,000. But as of today, ang layo na natin eh, di ba? But that said, we know that earnings of companies are, and even our economy is recovering from the pandemic. And we're less vulnerable to the impact of the US Fed tightening. No? Well, mahabang usapan yan. Tsaka na natin pag-usapan kung bakit ko sinasabing less vulnerable to the impact of the US Fed tightening. Anyway, and the valuations of our stocks are very cheap. For example, the PSEI or the composite index is now trading at 12 to 13 times PE for next year. And historically, the average is 17 to 18. No? And we're seeing a lot of share buybacks by companies. No? So talagang murang-mura siya. So since the market is volatile and of course, it's hard to escape when the US market is falling. Let's accumulate slowly because we don't know when the market will bottom. But definitely, medyo confident naman ako na when things normalize, from 12 times PE, we will return to mga 17, 18 times PE. Doon pa lang kikita na tayo ng maraming pera. No? And, why do we combine fundamental and technical analysts? Well, for fundamentalists, why do you want to consider technical analysts? Because it will improve the timing at which you can buy stocks. And for technicians, you have a higher conviction when you buy stocks. Diba? Sabihin natin, mamili kayo sa dalawang companies, parehong maganda yung chart. Piliin mo na yung may magandang fundamentals. Okay, so because of that, if you combine both, there is a greater chance of success. And you can increase the size of your investment because there is a higher probability of success and confidence. You can buy a little bit more and you can hold the position longer. Okay. So COL Financial has both fundamental and technical analysis. So we do have mga cheat sheets that you can go to. So go to the research tab and go to fundamentals if you wanna get our fundamental view. So we have the investment guide. So that's our cheat sheets. As you can see, we have the recommendations of the stocks that we cover and our fair value estimates. Okay, and then for technical analysis, go to research, click technicals, and then you go to the technical guide. So we also talk about mga recommendations and the trends. Okay, so in summary, so the most suitable investment strategy depends if you are a conservative, passive, or active investor. So kanya-kanya yan. So for conservative investors, so we recommend buying preferred shares and real estate investment trusts because of the steady dividends that these companies provide, that are higher than time deposits and bonds. And for passive investors, we recommend buying mutual funds or if you want to buy to the bank, unit investment trust funds because these are professionally managed, affordable, and diversified. And for active investors, we recommend buying companies with attractive growth prospects, managed by people you trust, trading at cheap valuation. So no buying of highly speculative issues that just go up and down and are very actively traded. Okay, so to invest wisely, no matter what type of investor you are, you can get more information from COL Financial. So yeah, that ends my presentation. So I'll be open now to answering any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, Ms. April Tan, for that interesting and informative discussion. Let's give our speaker our warmest virtual applause. With the kind indulgence of Ms. April Tan, we may now start the Q&A portion of this technical session. First question from Ms. Cecilia Lau and Ms. Agustin. What are the stocks to buy this 2022 or to early 2023? Is it better to invest in stock or in bond?
You know, I mean, I've been quite vocal about my views. If you can only buy one, no, I would be more, I think, bonds muna. In the sense na, kasi my view is there will be a recession in the US. Hindi na yung walang soft landing. Hindi ako naniniwala dyan. I believe that there will be a hard landing in the US. And of course, we know how high the yields of bonds are right now, no? So yun, when you buy bonds, maybe initially matatalo ka kasi tumataas yung yields. But if and when a recession comes, the price of bonds will go up. Okay, and the yields of bonds will go down. So either number one, you can lock in the high yields, which you might not see again for a very long time. Or number two, you can sell your bonds for a profit, and then after that, switch to stocks. Okay, so pwedeng ganon. Or you could do like, let's say, usually meron kang 50-50 bonds and stocks. So rather than doing maybe 50% bonds, 50% stocks, you could do like a 70% bond and 30% stock muna. And then once kumita ka na sa bonds, lipat mo ulit, tas maging 50% stock ka ulit. I think there will be time for you to buy stocks.
Thank you for answering that question, Ms. April. For the next question from Ms. Mezani Andres, how do you develop an investment strategy?
Which investment strategy? Yun na nga, ask yourself muna what type of investor you are, no? Kasi mahirap eh. Okay, I guess you're asking it from the perspective of an active investor. Okay? Kasi sa amin, okay, like me, I'm the chief equity strategist. So how I think of what approach I should take or what sectors I should focus on, I have a top-down view. I look at what's happening to the economy, and then the regulations of government. And in light of all of those information, I will try to analyze which sectors will benefit the most or which sectors will be hurt. So I choose to buy companies that belong to the strong sectors and avoid companies that belong to the weak sectors. Pero now, of course, given what's happening around us, we know that it's very heavily influenced by what is happening in the US, by what the Fed is doing. So pati yun, tinitignan namin. So that is how you create an investment strategy if you want to, say, look for strong sectors and avoid the weak sectors.
Okay. For the next question, is BBMPR still a good medium for a long-term investment considering the issues with BOGOs?
Which one?
BBM.
Double Dragon. Well, actually, ever since before, medyo cautious na kami in the sense na yun na nga. Okay, so if you observe, no, last year the REITs were very strong pero si DDMPR na iwanan. Bakit? Kasi the strength of the offices last year came from the offices that have PESA accreditation. And DDMPR, the Meridian Park doesn't have a PESA accreditation, which meant that they were at risk. If the POGOs leave, how can they attract the BPOs? So ngayon, actually, good news nga sa kanya na pwede na nga kahit POI mag-tax tax incentive. But that said, you know, you look at the other stocks with the mga PESA accreditations, etc. There are so many other REITs right now that provide high yields. So bakit doon pa tayo pipili? Ako yun yung view ko. Marami namang pagpilian. Why not let's just buy a C-REIT, for example. C-REIT is into solar solar power. So talagang mas less risk siya compared to those others who are in the offices, di ba? And if you want another one with a higher yield, we have VREIT. So the Vistaland REIT, that one mas may malls siya, and alam naman natin ang malls less susceptible to what's happening in the office sector.
Thank you for that, Ms. April. In your opinion, will it be considered that investing is gambling of some sort?
Well, kung bumibili kayo ng mga third line issues and the only thing you do is look at the ticker and buy whatever moves fast, then of course it's gambling. But you know, that said, if you think about it, pagsusugal ba yung pagsusosyo sa negosyo, 'di ba? In a way it's sugal din, pero kung 'di ba? I mean, it's like okay, 'di ba? Let's say ang normal Pinoy, yayain ka ng relatives mo. O ka, sosyo ka sa akin, magnegosyo tayo. O 'di ba? So, sugal ba 'yon? You ask yourself, if you feel that it's a gamble, di pareho lang stock market kasi the stock market is the same. Makikisosyo ka sa mga big players. Can you imagine you're kasosyo with sina Henry C, sina Go Hong Wei, di ba? It's the same. Except that syempre, parang ang boring bakit ako bibili dyan? Diba? Gusto mo yung mabilis kumita. If that is your mindset, without even taking into consideration who owns the companies you're buying, then you are gambling. But, you know, kaya nga we say, buy shares of stock owned by people that you trust, then you aren't really gambling. You are, kumbaga, nakikisosyo. So, yun yung mindset ko. Kaya nga, let's view investing in stocks as investments and not, not a way to make a quick buck.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. April. For our last question, given the increasing debts of the Philippines, is it still safe to invest in all government bonds?
I think naman okay pa. Okay. The debts have been increasing but not yet to a level that is alarming at this point. So yun, kasi I think if you look at the economic managers, they're very cognizant naman of what needs to be done. So I am sure binabantayan nila yan. At this point kasi, you know, kung sa totoo lang, edi magtitipid sila kung gusto nilang i-control yung deficit. And they are very much aware of that. And also increasing taxes. Pero of course, they know coming out of a pandemic, it's very unpopular if you increase taxes, and if you don't spend, kawawa naman mga tao. So ang naging perspective ni Secretary Jokno is, sige, ganito na lang. We'll try to make sure that the economy is gonna grow. Maybe we'll control the deficit, control the budget a little bit. Rather than growing by the budget by, say, 10-15%, we'll bring it down to 5%, but then we'll continue to grow. And hopefully, when the economy grows, that would lead to a lower deficit and lower debt to GDP level. Because if you look at the other countries naman around the world, mas grabe pa yung kanilang mga debt, no? Mga utang at ang kanilang mga deficit. And I think, you know, I mean, yeah, I know that we have issues. We have the twin deficit yan. Parati, people always talk about the twin deficit of the balance of payment deficit and also the budget deficit. But the thing is, you know, what's happening right now to us really is US-centric. I always, when I have a presentation talking about the market outlook, I show that the weak peso is largely a function of the strong US dollar. And the rise in the bond rates is also a function of the rise in the US 10-year bond rate. So, tingnan nyo sila. Pag nakita nyo, parang yun pala yung main reason why. I mean, you think about it. Like yung mga sa mahilig magbiyahe, punta kayo sa Japan ngayon. It's very cheap. 'Di ba? Peso to Japanese yen, halos ganun pa rin. Peso to Korean won, halos ganun pa rin. Yung peso to dollar, patay. Totoo. Pero, we're all held hostage by this policy of the Fed, which is why, we shouldn't be too pessimistic about the Philippines kasi lahat tayo talaga affected, di ba?
Okay, thank you, Ms. April. So thank you very much for answering the questions of some of our participants. Let's all give Ms. April a big round of virtual applause.
Thank you very much, John, for facilitating the discussion. And of course, thank you very much, Ms. April Tan, for that very interesting and informative discussion. My key takeaway, investing is not gambling. Nakikisosyo tayo. Interesting. I completely agree, and it's always fascinating to hear Ms. April Tan again. Again, let's give her our warmest virtual applause. So now may I call on again Ms. April Tan on screen so we can award the token of appreciation. Awarding of certificate of appreciation to Ms. April Tan. Can you please turn on your video? And now may I call on the members of the Summit Committee to present the members the token of appreciation to our distinguished speaker. Okay, so with distinct honor, I'm pleased to present the plaque of appreciation to Ms. April Lynn Tan, Philippine Institute of Certified Public Accountants, Commerce and Industry Sector, in collaboration with ACPAC, Metro Manila GAO, Metro Manila Committee on SMP and SME, Committee on Professional Development, present this a plaque of appreciation to Ms. April Lynn L. Tan, First Vice President, Corporate Strategy Call Financial, for her invaluable contribution as resource speaker on the topic, Applying Smart Investing Strategies, not only for CPAs, during the PICPA Nationwide Business and Career Summit, given this 29th day of September 2022 at the PICPA Building, Shaw Boulevard, Mandaluyong City. Signed, Dr. Erwin Vincent Alcala, President PICPA, Lolita Pitang, Vice President for Commerce and Industry PICPA, Arceli Rodriguez, Sectoral Director for Commerce and Industry, and of course, my dearest friend, Mr. Teodoro Josafat Martinez, President ACPAC. Thank you very much, Ms. April Lynn Tan. Can we take photo? Okay, let us know if it's okay. May I request everybody who's in the panel to please turn on your video so you can join in the photo opportunity.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. One more. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay na po.
Thank you very much, Miss April. Thank you. Nice to see you again.
Miss April.
Thank you. Okay, and now that was our technical part 1. Now we're on to our still a technical session 1 part 2, but with another, of course, with another topic, which is quite interesting also, unlocking cryptocurrencies. To introduce our resource speaker, may I call on, and she will also facilitate the Q&A later. May I call on the PICPA Eastern Metro Manila Chapter President-elect, Attorney Maria Gracia Casals Diaz.
Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Edmund Benio Martinez. Ed is the Vice President of of Business Development for the Philippine Digital Asset Exchange, or PDAX. Prior to his work in PDAX, he was the COL Premium of COL Financial, the country's largest stockbroker. He also occupied positions in retail investment in foreign banks, specifically Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation Philippines and Citibank. He received his master's degree in economics from the University of Asia and the Pacific. He was a licensed stockbroker, mutual fund, and fixed income salesperson. He is also a registered financial planner and a certified financial consultant. He earned his designations as certified blockchain expert, certified cryptocurrency expert, and certified NFT expert from the Blockchain Council USA. He received an investment foundation certificate, or Caritas, from the CFA Institute, and a level 1 chartered financial technician by the International Federation of Technical Analysts, or IFTA. Mr. Ed is a lifelong learner and an advocate of financial education to Filipinos. With that, let us give our warm virtual applause to Mr. Ed Martinez.
Hello. Thank you very much for that very kind introduction, madam. So this morning, we're going to learn about unlocking crypto. So I'm sure all of you have a lot of questions. And unfortunately, most people, when we encounter them of course, in our parties or in our, in our normal conversation, most of them have some sort of a negative view about cryptocurrencies. But hopefully this morning, we're able to clarify all of these with you guys. And also, I'm going to highlight the main use cases that you can explore using crypto. And lingid sa kaalaman ng lahat, hindi lang po ito investment. And in fact, if you take a look at yung crypto itself, hindi po talaga siya investment, no? We encourage people to participate in cryptocurrencies, but technically they are tokens of participation. So pag investment po kasi, they're already regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. We are regulated by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas because these are all virtual currencies. So bago po tayo magsimula, no, let's just start with a few disclaimers. So most of these products and use cases are suitable for certain people. So make sure that you do your own research and make sure that you understand the product very clearly before you engage in it. And of course, in this seminar, no, we will always use, of course, yung PDAX sa wallet natin or yung PDAX app. So if you want to follow along, you can start, downloading our app through the Google Play Store, Apple App Store, and the Huawei App Gallery. No? And mamaya po, we have a special offer to all of you guys. No? We believe in this industry so much that we are willing to give you your first cryptocurrency. Malay mo, pag tumaas na yung value ng cryptocurrency, no? Maalala nyo that in a PICPA talk, you were able to get some Bitcoin, no? For free. Yeah. All right, so yun po. So of course, the basis of the technological basis of cryptocurrencies and all of the fantastic other functions that we see, yung NFTs, we see decentralized finance. Ang core po niyan is really yung blockchain technology. And when you hear blockchain, parang minsan it's so intimidating, no? Because tunog high tech, minsan it's hard to understand. But essentially, blockchain solves lang our need to take records. Blockchain primarily is a digital ledger that's accessible via the internet. So in the past po, di ba, when I share to you, for instance, a music file through email, I might call it giving it to you, but essentially I'm only giving you a copy of it. Therefore, it is a problem because we cannot assign value or make transactions if I still have something that I gave to you. So yung po tinatawag na dual spend problem. So with blockchain, that completely solves it by recording or storing information on who owns what. And one of the more simple expressions of this is the tracking of who owns how much cryptocurrency. So essentially, the blockchain is just a ledger. It's just a book containing records of transactions, all the way from the Genesis block or yung first transaction ever made in that particular blockchain. And in cryptocurrencies, ang note lang po in this information list is who owns how much of that particular token. So if the blockchain is the ledger, then the pages are the blocks. And kaya po siya tinawag na blockchain because each and every block is related to a previous block, similar to how pages in a book is related by the page number. No? So you will be able to make sense of the entire book if you take a look at the page number. And in this case, yung blockchain po, it's related by the previous block. So meaning by some science in cryptography, we are able to condense the previous block into a string that we can now validate and consider as part of the block. And very important thing po dito is the pen, the way that we write data into this digital ledger, this globally accessible digital ledger, no? Yan po yung tinatawag natin na consensus algorithm. So how data is written is of course dictated by the entire block. And I'm sure you've heard of this, no, in Bitcoin and in Ethereum. Mamaya pag-uusapan natin yan in depth, that the consensus algorithm makes sure that the data is immutable and secure. So in this way, no, the blockchain po is a globally accessible database that contains immutable truths, as well as yun nga, the main benefit is really everyone having access to the internet, being able to access that particular database, no? So number one, it is secure. Pag nasulat na po sa blockchain, there's no way for us to change it. And even if there are nefarious actors trying to increase their holdings of a particular cryptocurrency in the blockchain, there are systems that prevent this from happening. Yan po yung tinatawag nating consensus algorithm kanina, which makes it a lot more secure. Next is that yung po, blockchain is accessible globally whenever there's internet. So, of course, yung unang mag-occur sa atin is that the main use case for this is really payments and remittance, no? Kahit saang may internet, kahit nasa Antarctica pa yung kausap mo, basta may internet siya, then you can transact, you can record that I gave something to you in this global ledger. And last but not the least, it's also fast and cheap, no? Yung mga problema natin associated with transferring land, buying property, buying a car, chattel mortgage, is all about the problem of us relating to a centralized ledger, di ba? In terms of property, meron tayong registry of deeds. Yan po yung holder of the information. But it being accessible through the internet and updated through technological means, that makes updating and accessing that particular database cheap and fast. And when I say cheap and fast, yan po yung comparison natin with our traditional centralized transaction keepers like si Visa and MasterCard, which actually can take by some measure, no, 2,000 transactions per second, no? So some blockchain technologies, which I will talk about later on, can actually exceed this, no? Mga 20 to 30,000 transactions per second, but the main ones, unfortunately, is still not that fast. Okay, so blockchain po, in a nutshell, is really just a way for us to keep records that are accessible over the internet and contains immutable data. So I'm sure yung mga isip nyo naglalaro na ngayon, ano gagamitin ko dito? Because it's really, that's why we called it the third iteration of the internet, no? Yung Web 3.0 as compared to Web 2.0, where we saw yung mga data collectors like Facebook and Google, no? This is the next step towards the internet, and for me, there is a very important step in us achieving a global society. Kasi now more than ever, we see blockchain as actually a backstop to your rights, no? Nakita natin yan in the case of Russia. Of course, while we hate the actions of Mr. Putin in invading Russia, but of course, kawawa naman yung mga ordinary Russians. So when you do sanctions against a particular country, some of them can still transact using this globally accessible ledger. So we are in the dawn of digital assets, ladies and gentlemen. Because of this improvement, we have seen an influx of projects and money going into cryptocurrencies and blockchains, no? And in fact, by end of last year, we've measured this to be around 2.2 trillion US dollars already. And given the correction, we believe that the whole industry is still above 1 trillion US dollars. And napabilis po yan lalo when we, of course, had the COVID-19 pandemic, where people were forced to explore digital ways of transacting with each other, o yung iba naghahanap lang ng other means na pagkakitaan over the internet. So when I started speaking with our founder, si Michelle Gaba, way back in 2016, there were only a handful of cryptocurrency projects, but now there are over 5,500 different projects with all different purpose. They have different objectives when they started their own blockchains, no? So you can see here the charts of the movement of prices in the Philippine Stock Exchange Index, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and also gold, no? So medyo ni-normalize natin yung chart with all the charts starting at 1 para makita po natin yung movement of these assets over time. So nakita nyo, of course, the Philippine Stock Exchange Index started at 1 and ended slightly above 1. You have the Dow Jones Industrial Average starting at 2 and almost ending above. It started at 1 and ended almost above, slightly above 2. So that means that when you put 1 peso, lumaki yung pera mo to 2 pesos, no? And then gold has also increased over this time period, no, from 1 to around 1.4. So that means there's 40% increase in its value. So when I was introduced graciously by our host, I've been a traditional finance guy for the longest time. That's where I started my career. And when I first heard about cryptocurrencies and blockchains, of course, I had a speculative view. Sabi ko, but ganon? You're trying to test or challenge the way the system is working. But there was this one incident where during the pandemic, my bank called me up. Sabi niya, sir, yung dollar account mo na hindi mo ginagalaw, isasara na namin to because you failed to update your KYC. Meron daw akong mga kulang na mga items that I need to submit to them. So to cut the long story short, it took me 3 weeks to be able to rectify that. And when I asked them about where can I put my US dollar, wala silang babigay sa akin. In fact, pinapabayad pa ako just to hold my measly $300. Yun yung aming travel fund ng wife ko na hindi namin nagamit during the pandemic. So medyo, of course, nainis ako ng konti doon. So I started exploring yung blockchain and cryptocurrency, and I was really shocked, ladies and gentlemen. This is really technology that can change the way you live, because in half a day, I was able to get into 6 different asset classes, 6 different investment instruments, 6 different things or functions or use cases that I continue to use to this day. That's why I want you to focus your attention on these charts, these growth charts, because we will introduce the movement of price in Bitcoin. All right? So paste this in your mind, focus on this, then wala, di ba? Yan po yung movement of the price in Bitcoin. What happened to the charts of the Philippine Stock Exchange, Dow Jones Industrial Average, and gold? Halos nag-flatten, hindi mo na nakita because the price of Bitcoin has increased by 250% already. Started at 1, now they ended at 250 times already the value. So again, the reason for this is not because, of course, there's a part of it is caused by speculation, but mainly because it is new technology. We are catching this at the early phase, no? And of course, this is Bitcoin. This is one of the first, if not this is really the first cryptocurrency that was globally adopted. Now, focus your attention on the movement of Bitcoin while I introduce to you guys the movement naman in another cryptocurrency called Ether, or the currency of the Ethereum blockchain. Other people call it Ethereum nevertheless. So ito po yung movements in Ether or Ethereum, no? Again, nag-flatten din yung growth or yung movements in Bitcoin because Ethereum has exploded over the past 5 years. Now, the reason for that, again, partly because of speculation, but because of the fundamental value that Ethereum brings to the table. Ether is programmable money, ladies and gentlemen. You can add smart contracts to Ether that helps it automate some of the functions. So one of the main use cases for Ethereum is decentralized finance, diba? Remember what the bank does. What does a bank do? It really just bridges the gap between the depositors and the lenders, no? And they earn so much from it. When we put money in the banks, they pay us 0.5%, while they charge the lenders naman anywhere between 8 to 12%. So yung difference na yon, yung interest margin that they charge from the depositors is rendered obsolete by, of course, this system of exchange, no? So decentralized finance using smart contracts or automated means of relating with each other, the cryptocurrency industry is able to link directly yung mga depositors and also the borrowers, taking the middleman out, no? So that's why it's very exciting. I think yung speculation dito is just a small part because we haven't seen yet massive adoption in Ethereum. But later we'll talk about naman the merge. Yung kasi si Ethereum nagbago ng kanyang pen. It changed recently how it writes data para mas scale natin yung Ethereum. And in the future, we believe that Ethereum is going to be the main smart contract platform for individuals and industries. Okay? So, question natin dyan, is there still time to participate? Sir, kung nag-multiply na ng 250 times si Bitcoin and by 5,000 times na si Ethereum, is there still time to participate? And we'd like to answer that with the amount of people who actually adopted it. So ngayon, medyo konti pa lang. And with this recent correction and the shake-off, may mga nawala pa tayong mga users, no? So this compares Web 2.0, which is really internet, Facebook, and Google, no? And Web 3.0, which is cryptocurrency and blockchain. As you can see this here, no, yung white line represents the adoption of internet from 1992 to 2006. And the orange line shows you naman the adoption of cryptocurrency and related technologies. As you can see here, no, medyo nandun pa tayo sa high growth phase. It is as if we're back in 1997 and 1998 during Web 2.0. So imagine you can access Google, Yahoo, and all the other startups before during this time. And we expect this to last until probably before the end of 2024. After that, it shifts to a slower growth phase, which is still, to my standards, pretty fast. No? I'm a TradFi guy, so in 12% annual average return from the stock market, masaya na ako. So there's still 33% average user growth. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we are catching this early, not because that we want to speculate in this thing, but because not a lot of people still appreciate what blockchain and crypto can do for everyone. So again, we are still catching this early. There's still time to participate. All right. So this morning, we're going to talk about the three main use cases of blockchain and crypto. Of course, we've tailored this to the usual retail customer or yung mga tao that we pass by the street. Of course, it goes without saying that the main use case really is payments. Para blockchain technology allows you to sort of send a GCash transfer or a Paymaya transfer to anyone in the planet, no, using a particular blockchain. So, but this morning, we're going to talk about yung pwede nating pagkakitaan ng content. So number one is, of course, crypto cost averaging. Sabi nga ni Ms. April kanina, no, for high-risk assets, no, yung mga risk assets like stocks or, in this case, crypto, for people who don't have the time, the necessary knowledge, and of course, the know-how to trade these things, what we advise or what we recommend is really to build a position slowly over time. Because of course, while this correction that we've seen over the past couple of months is massive, right? By equity or by international asset standards, 60 to 70% correction is massive, no? But again, this is not the first time that this happened to crypto or any emerging technology, no? In fact, this is the fifth time that this has happened. And if you take a look at the overall chart of these cryptocurrencies, parang maliit na blip lang ito in the price movement. But again, volatility is not for everyone. I believe I also learned this from Miss April and of course Boss Edward from Call Financial in my time there, no? That volatility is not something to really hindi mo yan dapat i-disregard, because in reality, what will dictate your risk appetite is when you see your actual portfolio or the portfolio value that you have going down, no? For me, my first experience here, no, nung nag-correct yung assets that I currently that I had before, no, nag-churn yung stomach ko and I end up selling my securities. So in this case, now, since crypto is traded 24/7, it has massive volatility, which I will show you later on. The recommended approach is just to accumulate slowly, getting ready for the sixth cycle or the sixth uptake of crypto. Next is remittance and payments. Kanina, sabi ko kanina, the main use case is payments. And for a country which has 10% of its population working abroad, paying roughly 6% charges in remittance, crypto has a very excellent solution. In fact, most of the major remittance players are already doing this, and they are our customers. So ginagamit na nila yung cost and time savings of crypto in trying to transmit value across borders. And last but not the least, we're going to talk about a very interesting part of crypto and blockchain, which is the metaverse. So of course, some people might shake their heads and raise their, raise their shoulders, but this is happening, and we are now seeing the use cases for this one. Mamaya pag-uusapan natin yung mga interesting worlds that you can actually access in the metaverse. All right, so Simulan natin yung crypto cost averaging, no? Ano ba yan? Number one is just purchase the main cryptos. There are 5,500 different cryptocurrencies, tokens, and yung mga projects in the metaverse, no? But I would like to really focus on the two main ones. Mamaya pag-uusapan natin yan. And of course, yung punchline dyan is really Bitcoin and Ethereum. So the reason why we like these assets is because we believe that they have staying power in the cryptocurrency industry, no? And when you talk about the longevity of these projects, if you compare yung list of top 10 cryptocurrencies that are 7 or 8 years apart, dalawa lang yung naiwan doon, and normally it's Bitcoin and Ethereum. Next, you do this on a regular basis. Sana medyo fire and forget, no? You just set it up. You just habitually invest in the two major cryptos over a long period of time, because like risk assets such as equities, no, you need to really hold this in a period longer than 5 years for you to be able to see the impact, no, the real behavior of these tokens across time. And you tend to really iron out those volatilities and see how technology is being adopted by everyone, by the globe, no. So with that, since nando pa tayo sa early stages of this, then there is also high growth, right? So here are the main tokens. Number one is Bitcoin. This is not the entire cryptocurrency industry. Of course, when I meet a man on the street, I ask him about whether he's familiar with cryptocurrency. Yun ba yung Bitcoin? Di ba? But it's not. It's just one of the cryptocurrencies available globally. This was founded in 2008, and we consider it as digital gold. Bakit? Because you know how people really like yung concept of having the first ever of something. Yung first Jordan, yung first Jordan shoe, Jordan card, the first watch made by this company. You know, these are really, special items. And in the cryptocurrency space, the first ever cryptocurrency is very much valuable, no? And we think that, like gold, it's a good store of value. Why? Because there's massive adoption, while the processing power is quite slow, no? But that's really the allure of it. It has, it's the most secure cryptocurrency given how it's being operated, and it also has a very interesting tokenomic. And by that I mean, ano yung sistema in which it is offered globally, no? Diba, you heard about the miners of cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin is one of the main tokens that people mine for, no? And because of its consensus algorithm, how it writes information in the ledger, it requires a lot of power in the form of yung mga rigs, mga mining rigs for the blockchain to be able to update data in the ledger. So that being said, no, yung mga rewards in mining Bitcoin is actually halved every 4 years. And there will come a point where mining is no longer feasible in Bitcoin. Therefore, we are only limited to 21 million Bitcoins, which we expect to use up until 2100. So what happens when there's increasing demand and limited and a fixed supply, no? Then the prices do come up. So we are quite positive about this one. And of course, in the short term, baka natatakot ka because of volatility. But again, hold it for a long period of time and see what it does for you. The next is Ethereum. This is the one that I'm quite excited about. Yung t-shirt ko, yan yung print niya, no? Yung colorful logo of Ethereum. Ito yung programmable money. No? Imagine that if you can make money, do certain things. Imagine if you can automatically pay salaries of your employees who are holding an Ethereum-based employment token. Or when you are buying a digital bond in the future where coupons are paid with the currency na nanganganak. No? Ethereum pays another set of Ethereum that's tantamount to the coupon rate. No? These are possibilities that we continue to expect as the industry grows and as Ethereum updates its features. Now, currently, it's the largest cryptocurrency in the market, and because of its programmability, it allows for the decentralized financial industry, no, where we remove yung mga middlemen or yung mga mediators in certain transactions because it's already automated by Ethereum. And it is also the gateway dun sa mga NFT markets where we apply the ledgering technology or the distributed ledger technology over property, no? So imagine, no, the second best use case of a digital ledger is really taking note of who owns what in hard assets. And currently, medyo nakakatawa yung mga applications nila because as you've seen and heard, I'm sure from the younger members of your family or younger accountants talking about pictures of apes that are traded over the internet that are now, priced a very high amount. Ladies and gentlemen, Ethereum is responsible for that because of its programmability and accessibility. There's a huge amount of programmers in the world who are into Ethereum. Then these use cases are actually present with us. And lastly, for Ethereum, it just transitioned a couple of weeks ago to proof of stake from proof of work. So again, very complicated terms, but to cut the long story short, they just changed how they write in the ledger. Instead of doing it like Bitcoin, where it spends a lot of electricity, ladies and gentlemen, before the adoption of proof of stake, si Bitcoin and Ethereum consumes as much power as Pakistan. So now that Ethereum has shifted to this new way of writing data, which is as secure as proof of work, we reduced the cost of electricity by 99.9%, making it one of the greenest cryptocurrencies available in the market. So those are the two main tokens that we want you guys to really focus on if you want to do crypto cost averaging. Now, next question is, kala ko ba magda-diversify tayo dapat? Yes, you have to diversify through other assets. But of course, ang sinasabi namin sa mga kliyente who are trying to get or trying to participate in cryptocurrency for the first time, that it should add to your portfolio of risk assets. So in the past, when you have kunyari normal stocks, as Ms. April has mentioned, you can also add foreign funds or foreign stocks. Then you can also add cryptocurrency into that basket so that you don't overexpose yourself and diversify to other asset classes. No? All right, so here is why you should consider cost averaging. No, remember, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the cryptocurrencies are trading 24/7. And since we are located opposite the United States, yung movements in cryptocurrency actually happens during market hours in the US, gabi sa atin. So when you trade during the day in crypto in the Philippines, normally it just moves sideways, wala masyadong major movement. So it makes it harder to trade. And what makes it harder to trade, which I think you cannot trade this casually, you have to trade this sitting down. And of course, if you're not prepared in means of capital, in means of time to monitor, hindi ka pwedeng magising sa gabi. You want to live normally and you don't have enough knowledge of trading and yung technical analysis and actually looking at yung mga on-chain data, then here is why. Because volatility is really immense. In the first rally, we've seen in 2017, with its peak in $19,141 per Bitcoin, it dropped to $7,688 per Bitcoin, causing a 60% drop in price, over a span of 539 days. So that's less than 2 years now. So again, this is massive volatility. If you ever find yourself buying at the peak, you're probably losing 60% of your hard-earned cash. And in the succeeding minor corrections, we've seen 45%, 46%. I think this last correction is now extended to around 65 to 70% correction. I don't think anyone has the stomach for that, especially if it's your hard-earned cash. So that's why we tell customers not to really do this slowly over a long period of time. Do a buying program over weekly or monthly period where you buy a small amount. And because cryptocurrencies are available in fractional shares, meaning you can practically buy 10 pesos worth of cryptocurrencies. You can even buy up to the 18th decimal place of fractions in all of cryptocurrencies. So you want to do this slowly because you don't want to be faced with that amount of volatility. Now, moving on to Ethereum, mas matindi pa, yung first rally niya, it peaked around $1,367 per Ether. It bottomed at $85 per Ether. Ladies and gentlemen, 94% loss or correction, happening over a span of 336 days. Ako yung standard ko lang dito, not only is my stomach gonna churn, But how am I going to explain this to my wife? Yung 1 million mo, naging 60,000 pesos na lang. So again, massive volatility. But again, if you miss this, if you encountered 94% correction, you shunned it away, ayaw mo nang mag-cryptocurrency, then you would have missed the movements after that, no? So the main lesson I want to share with you guys, no, is that, because if it's deathly volatile, it is recommended that you build up a position slowly over time, no? All right. So what are the benefits of a regular buying program? You buy only in the two mainliner or major cryptocurrency projects, which we believe can stand the test of time. Next is that not only are you going to invest or put money into this asset that can grow 100x, 1000x over a long period of time, but you also build a good investment habit and front run this. I know that's not good for stocks, but you want to invest ahead of everyone before there's global adoption. Next is that with a long-term view, you tend to iron out volatilities. And most importantly, when you cost average, ladies and gentlemen, you tend to control your emotions, because that is the enemy when investing in risk assets. Now, when you're happy, when you're excited, oh, ang lakas nung na bili kong stock or yung cryptocurrency ko, nag 100, 1000x na. Then you wanna, ang gusto mo is to overexpose yourself, buy more of it, ride this wave. But normally when that happens, that's when also the market gets a bit saturated. And on the inverse, when the prices do correct, when you're faced with 70%, 60% losses, you want to take your, investments out, you want to take your cryptocurrency out and convert it to peso, ayaw mo na, which now will cause you naman to miss the next upturn. Take note, this is the 5th time this is happening in crypto. This has happened before. And right now, we're pretty excited on the 6th cycle, where we are bound to see other use cases that are equally as exciting as the advancements that we've seen over the past 5 cycles. All right? So again, I would not advise anyone to trade this unless this is your job or you really like trading as a means of it's really your vocation to trade. No, you're a trading expert. But if you're a busy person like me, you have your regular 9 to 5s and you want to sleep your full 8 hours, then I would suggest that you do a regular buying program through crypto cost averaging. Then, yeah. So how to do your crypto cost averaging? No, again, the wallet that I've shown you kanina, yung PDAX wallet, you can download this again through the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, and the Huawei App Gallery. You can use that to transfer your fiat or your regular money into the PDAX wallet, where you can actually convert it to cryptocurrencies. No, PDAX is a regulated institution by the BSP, so we are partnered with all of the banks and all of the wallets. So that means you can use your GCash, you can use your GrabPay, My accounts, you can use your any bank account. You can transfer through yung mga regular online banking channels, or even the OTC types of transfers you can do with your PDAX wallet. Then you set your calendar. I'd like to set in my personal calendar kasi I think as compared to email reminders, mas effective yung calendar notifications para sa akin. And then once you receive that, then you can just buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, no? And then the next question is, by how much? No, again, up to you. I know some users who are starting out with this, starting with 200 pesos, 100 pesos, buying 50 pesos in Bitcoin, buying 50 pesos in Ethereum. No, and for me, medyo nilaki ko ng konti because I'm quite familiar with the industry. I'm now currently doing a 10,000 peso cost averaging into these two cryptocurrencies. Para pag nag-correct, bumaba pa yung presyo, instead of me being sad about it, I'm now happy because I'm buying this new technology at a lower price. Yeah, moving on to payments and remittance. Again, the number one use case of a globally accessible digital ledger is actually transferring value across borders. So in the cryptocurrency world, there are remittance tokens. So if you wanna be able to remit fast, relatively stable and cheap, then you can use these two cryptocurrencies, which are all available in the PDAX applications. You have Ripple, no, nung nakita ng mga bangko na, oy, there is a disruptor in our industry, they started their own cryptocurrency named Ripple. So this is actually the cryptocurrency for banks. You also have Stellar, yung mga previous employees ng Ripple started their own cryptocurrency named Stellar. Now, yung mga developments in Stellar is more tended towards remittance companies as well as retail investors. We also have the stable coins, no? Very important because if you're just starting out using the remittance use case for cryptocurrency, very ideal itong sila stable coins because as the name suggests, it's practically stable because when you buy one, for instance, USDC or the US dollar equivalent in cryptocurrency, it doesn't change its value. It's still $1 per cryptocurrency. Of course, you're subjected to the exchange rate differences between the Philippines and the US, but as far as US dollar is concerned, it stays the same. We also have Tether. It's another variant of a stable coin in the Ethereum blockchain. And also we have the Binance USD. If you're a fan of Binance for trading, then there's an easy way for you to transfer money to that using PDAX. And then if you are really going for the lowest rates in remittance, then these two tokens are very much in that level. Now we have Bitcoin Cash. It's another cryptocurrency that practically charges 2 pesos when you transfer. Imagine 2 pesos when you do remittance. That's unheard of. Litecoin is slightly more expensive, but I think it's slightly faster than Bitcoin Cash. So what is the remittance situation globally? No, in fact, the World Bank actually takes note of the major remittance pathways globally. So as part of the report, they try to estimate the cost of remitting money from these jurisdictions to the Philippines. Inward remittance, if you're remitting money from the US, Singapore, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Japan, United Kingdom, and the UAE, you're paying anywhere from 300 pesos to 781 pesos of remittance cost. That's the average, no? If you are richer, then you can access the banking system. But if you are, for instance, a domestic helper or a low-income employee in these countries, then you would pay higher amounts. And compare that to the left side of the graph, no? When you remit money using Bitcoin Cash, you pay 2 pesos. You use Litecoin, you pay 9 pesos. XRP is 8. I think Stellar is right about that range. And if you're planning to use yung USDC or yung stable coins, you're practically paying 1 stable coin per transfer, which is, when this slide was made, around 51 pesos per USDT or USDC. Again, a huge difference in terms of cost, which may spell the difference for most people, no? Considering that all the costs are actually increasing quite recently, right? So how do you do this, no? It's about identifying what wallet works dun sa bansa kung saan manggagaling yung pera. So if you have a parent or a loved one sending money, for instance, in the US, you ask them, ano ba yung cryptocurrency wallet available in that country, no? And normally pag US, you have Coinbase. I think most jurisdictions have Coinbase, but some more, some countries may have their own local wallets because some countries tend to regulate this more tightly. So you ask, anong wallet available there? And then from that wallet, you can transfer money. Syempre, if it's a regulated exchange in that particular country, it's also connected to their banking system. So you can easily transfer value and money from fiat to the cryptocurrency wallet there. And then you just buy the remittance tokens. For instance, I'm transferring using Bitcoin Cash. I ask my relative to, you buy Bitcoin Cash. Then I send him through Messenger my Bitcoin Cash address in my PDAX wallet. All he has to do is initiate a transfer, put in that address, and click send, no? And then, because it's a global ledger, no, babasahin ng PDAX wallet ko yung global ledger for Bitcoin Cash saying that this wallet transferred to me, then I can reflect that in my PDAX wallet. And since my PDAX wallet is already connected to the banking system, I can take it out through the banks, no? So again, just like a usual GCash transaction, no? But in this case, pinapadaan mo sa cryptocurrencies, no? Very easy, and it's going to save you money. Whether you're doing this as an individual or a corporation buying from anyone globally. So ngayon, I do buy some goods, mga rare watches, no? globally. And yun, ang tanong mo na kagad is, do you have an Ethereum wallet? Because I pay normally in stable coins that are in the Ethereum blockchain. All right, so outward remittance, of course, we're comparing the movement of money using the SWIFT system used by the banks. And of course, payments via crypto or remittance via crypto. Ito yung cost natin of sending $1,000, more or less 50,000 pesos through the SWIFT system. It would take you roughly around 1 to 4 days on average based on a 2022 measures by the World Bank. It's going to cost you 6% of the amount that you transferred. No, the total cost is around 3,000 pesos. So yung matatanggap ng tao on the other side of the transaction, nasa 47,000 pesos na lang. No, and when you do that via crypto, considering yung conversion fees and gas, yung gas kasi that's what you pay the validators to write in the ledger and update it. It's going to cost you 250 pesos. No, again, a stark difference, a huge difference between outward remittance, no? So how do you do that? You just reverse the process. You again, yung PDAX wallet na I encourage you guys to download. You can transfer your fiat currency into that wallet. Then you can buy your remittance token. If, for instance, you're using Ripple, then you ask yung padadalan mo, ano yung Ripple address mo dyan? Na via Messenger, it can send it to you via email, however you want it. The address, by the way, is a 256-character string, no? Again, we are in the early stages of this technology, but we are moving towards human readable addresses. So in my case, I've already started buying this. So meron akong edmundmartinez.crypto, edmundmartinez.wallet. Diba, in the past when we started Web 2.0 in the internet, para maka-access ka ng mga website, you have to type the IP address, no? Very old school and ang haba ng string. But now we have google.com, facebook.com, and mangyayari din yan in crypto. Soon, yung mga wallets are going to be labeled as such. And ako, as a personal investment, I've started buying yung mga wallets ng major brands, di ba? Like Nike.wallet. So medyo naghahanap na ako, trying to move ahead of people trying to adopt this. So when they want to have their own wallet, they have to buy it from me. And then once your loved one or the recipient receives the cryptocurrency in that particular wallet, again, very critical here is that you ask what wallet is accessible and licensed in that particular country. And nevertheless, no, when you transfer the cryptocurrency in that wallet, they can out that in the banking system. Or in some crypto exchanges, meron pang card feature, so they can actually start spending it in credit card. No, so again, these are just how to use this for payments and remittance. And the third point this morning, no, pag-uusapan natin yung metaverse. No, ano ba yung metaverse? Narinig natin yung kay Mark Zuckerberg, no, na being panned by critics, but really the metaverse is based on the NFT technology, or tinatawag nating non-fungible tokens. So the metaverse has several applications. One of them is NFT art and communities. And here you can see a few examples of NFTs or pictures, JPEGs available in the internet that are currently traded by NFT investors or speculators. Yung blue monkey that you see here with yellow background, that's the Bored Ape Yacht Club. I think ape number 1106 is currently owned by Mr. Stephen Curry. He bought this for $150,000. No. Yung parang pixelated punk here, yung white-haired with parang brown background, that's a crypto punk that was bidded for $5 million, guys, by a buyer. But the owner refused it because he bought this to be part of the CryptoPunks community. Well, to me, sayang, dude, because the prices of these NFTs have gone down quite significantly from the peaks. But then again, yun nga yung purpose of an NFT. It's not just for speculation. It's also to be part of the community. Yung parang diwata dun sa taas, that's part of an NFT started by a Filipino creator, no? Gumawa siya ng artwork for the traditional zombies and monsters that we have, aswang, tikbalang, no? And now it's trading at 1 Ether, no? Currently, that's around $1,500 per picture. And the last NFT there is owned by myself. So that's yung Bored Punks of Society, because I want to be part of this community where they share and educate each other about cryptocurrency and other applications. So I bought that to be a member of it. No, so these so far is the use of NFT globally. No, next is you also have play to earn. I'm sure you've heard this from a couple of your younger family members. No, and if you happen to live in Nueva Ecija, this is practically everyone's game. No, yung Axie Infinity. So these are just normal games, ladies and gentlemen, but because of blockchain technology, they're able to install economic systems in these games. So during its peak, where people are actively playing this right now because of the correction, almost half of all players have become dormant, but there are still some playing, no, and some have actually taken this as their own profession. So people are actually professional Axie players. They form their guilds where an investor buys several Axies, several items in the game, and let scholars play it as a means to earn money. So again, play to earn is an exciting space that we're currently watching. Currently, lahat ng mga games have not yet reached yung sweet spot of games, right? Yung Axie Infinity, if you try to play it, it's actually boring and not very engaging. But because people go to it because of the economic system rather than the game itself. But if you appreciate, no, I've been a gamer all my life. I even play for free just for the experience of it. But once there's a game that offers good gameplay and an economic system, then that's going to be unbeatable. Baka doon na magtatrabaho majority of the unemployed people in the provinces. Third, of course, are the virtual worlds. No, you have Decentraland. It's the new real estate in the internet. It's actually a virtual world that you can actually buy land. You can interact with other users. In fact, we are putting up a PDAX branch in Decentraland, following other brands that already have their branches there. You have Morgan Stanley. In fact, quite recently, they organized a fashion week in Decentraland. So most of the people are attending it virtually. Sandbox naman is another interesting world. I'm sure you have young children or younger members of your family playing Minecraft. So imagine Minecraft with an economic system, no? Talaga magiging trabaho na ng ilang bata ito. They mine gold and then they sell it in that particular virtual world. And then because they have a PDAX account, they just transfer that currency to their PDAX account and convert that to peso. So that's the exciting part of these, no? Okay, so pag-usapan muna natin yung basis of all this technology, which is the non-fungible token. Again, this is just the technology being applied to assets. No, yung kaninang pinag-usapan natin, this is just a digital ledger that tracks who owns what. And in terms of the pictures that you've seen kanina, it just tracks who owns that monkey. No, and if you sell that monkey through the marketplaces, then it will track that as well. And fortunately enough, though the first application is a bit funny, we've seen other use cases as well. Some companies have started doing NFTs for music. Now, instead of you paying the record company for music, you get to pay the one who made the NFT directly. So you have the artists, yung like ni Imogen Heap. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her. My wife is, but I'm not. But if you buy her music, you're going to pay him through a smart contract. And one very interesting use case that I'm quite excited about is that a company in Florida actually bought a lot of property in the US and registered it in a digital ledger. So ginamit ng Ethereum to transfer property, you know? And it's funny because instead of you trying to deal with yung regulators, trying to pay lawyers to make your contracts, because again, these are just fruits of dealing with a centralized holder of data. Since you're doing it in the blockchain, then buying a property is as easy as just, swiping an app, buying it from an app, buying it from an exchange, no? And we know for sure who owns what. And because the data is immutable, no amount of corruption can change it. So again, an interesting use case. I think that NFTs is the future of ownership, right? As we get more familiar with it, as Ethereum scales to a level that everyone can use it, corporations are comfortable using it, then this is the way we will own in the future, guys. Probably we won't call it NFT. We would probably call it something more inane or mundane like ownership. But again, this is ownership registered in the internet. All right. So for NFTs, now, if you're interested in looking at those pictures, if you want to speculate, which I don't advise that you do, but if you happen to find interest in those pictures, then and then diversify across the blue chips, yung mga mahal na NFTs, but buy it fractionally. And there are marketplaces that offer buying it up to the 18th decimal place. So you don't need to spend something akin to what Stephen Curry spent for his Bored Ape, which is $100,000. So I actually own 10 apes, pero 1% lang of each and every ape. So I get to ride the price action without taking too much risk. Next is that if you want to be part of those communities, no, again, might be alien to us, mga millennials or phillennials like me, feeling millennial, but even to the older generations, this is how people congregate now. No, in Web 2.0, we congregate in social media, but social media has been converted to nothing but a propaganda machine. So most people do congregate using NFTs, and one way to prove membership to a club or a group is by possessing an NFT. So again, membership probably in PICPA in the future will be an NFT form, right? And of course, in PDAX, we're happy to explore those as well if you want to issue NFTs to your members. Yon. So these are the marketplaces where you can buy NFTs and participate in the metaverse. No, if you want yung mga fractional pieces of monkeys or the pictures of yung mga NFTs na nakita nyo kanina, fractional.art is a good place to start. You also have OpenSea. This is parang ito yung eBay of NFTs. No, everyone's there, everyone's for sale, everything's for sale. And if you want yung one of ones, no, yung mga artists na medyo sikat, no, si Juvenal Sanso, no, they actually tried to divide one of his more popular paintings. They converted it into a digital version and divided it over, I think, 9,999 pieces and sold each and every part over the metaverse. You also have, kunyari, Sevi Loves Art. This is a child diagnosed to be within the range of autism, but he likes to paint, and you can actually buy his artwork via the internet. You also have other marketplaces using other blockchain technologies like looksrare.org and rarible.com. So these are the marketplaces. Again, if you want to be part of the communities, start from the community. Don't just shop around and hope for the best. If you want to speculate, then buy the big ones, but buy fractional. All right. So if you want to access more information on this, we have an excellent playlist of videos. Now, we recently conducted yung Hitchhiker's Guide to the Metaverse. You can just put your phone and scan this so that you can enjoy the playlist, which are exclusive to Prime customers of PDAX. Yeah, I give you 1, 2, 3 more seconds, and that's it. Okay, so how to participate in the NFTs? Again, your PDAX wallet is very important to this. Normally, you have to pair it with a MetaMask account. It's another wallet that allows you to pair your wallet into these services. So in Web3, wala na po yung password and username, no? Yung username password. Now, you have to possess the wallet in your browser to be able to access the services. So for MetaMask, you can pair that with OpenSea, Looksrare, or Rarible, or Fractional. Then you can start buying your NFTs, whether you're speculating or buying it for membership. And of course, just going through the other virtual worlds, you have Decentraland or Mana. Ito yung picture of Fashion Week happening there, no? Very interesting. So kung sa mundo medyo mahirap gumawa ng very crazy fashion, but in Decentraland, since developers ang nandun, then fashion can be a bit more crazy. The map below is actually the real estate map for Decentraland. You can buy pieces of land in there, you can buy and sell. And the picture to the right is just JP Morgan opening their branch in Decentraland. And soon, there will be PDAX as well. Ito si Sandbox, yung pinag-usapan natin kanina, it's Minecraft with an economic system. Again, the gamers are here already. You have Ubisoft, Atari are already buying up land in the Sandbox. You also have Axie Infinity. No, we have 2 currencies right here. No, Smooth Love Potion and Axie Shards. These are used to progress in the game. So if you're interested, you can check them out. Or if you want to run your own guild and bring employment to other people, then you can also engage with us for that. And then Step N, ito yung tinatawag na move to earn movement, no? So ito, you can download the Step N app. You can buy a sneaker. You can design the sneaker. And then when you walk using that sneaker, dala mo yung phone mo and you do your exercise, you earn GSTs o yung green Satoshi tokens. Now, once you earn that, you can transfer that to your PDAX wallet and cash it out. No, again, some people use this at its peak. My friend was earning 4,000 to 5,000 pesos every day just walking. No, naging fit na siya, kumita pa siya. So again, the returns might not be as large right now because, of course, the prices have corrected. But again, while it's cheap, you can consider this. And then Gala Games, again, the future of games are in this. Imagine the more popular games and we add an economic system to boot. No, very interesting. You can use that also. Again, the PDAX wallet is very essential to this kasi ito yung link mo sa local banking system. Then you have to also buy or open your MetaMask wallet if you want to engage with Decentraland, Sandbox, and Gala Games. You want to also open a Ronin wallet if you want to engage the Axie Infinity World. And you have to open a Phantom wallet for you to be able to participate in STEPN. Again, that relation is two-way. So if you earn from STEPN or any of these games na nakabenta ka ng Decentraland land, you kumita ka ng crypto from Axie Infinity, then you can transfer it to your PDAX wallet. Ayun, and that is it, ladies and gentlemen. So here I'm just going to walk through the other smart contract platforms. No, again, there's a lot. I think I've shared this slide to our coordinators here. Feel free to ask for it. We're happy to share it, and you can study all of these other tokens in the slide. So you also have the DeFi items. You have the special purpose tokens. I'm very excited for this one. I personally invest in this, yung Pax Gold token, which gives you ownership for gold. No, you know how difficult it is to own gold in the Philippines. And yun, I think that is it. Ladies and gentlemen, as a final note, no, for PDAX, we want to talk about PDAX. Now, we're a licensed local crypto exchange. No, that means that we are regulated by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. We're connected with all the exchanges and banks, so we give the best price. And ma'am, sorry, last na. And of course, when you open your PDAX account and validate for the first time, we're happy to give you your first 100 pesos worth in Bitcoin. So you can just get your phone and point it to this QR code, fill out the form, and we'll give you the code. Yan po. All right. So that ends my presentation. Thank you very much for inviting me. And I hope you learned something. Thank you.
Definitely, Mr. Edmond Martinez. Thank you very much for that very interesting discussion. We learned a lot. It's just, we just have to digest it. It's a lot, but unfortunately, we don't have enough time for Q&A.
Yeah.
If okay with you, we can send you the questions in the
Sure.
chat box. I hope you can, so we can respond accordingly to the questions of our participants. Again, thank you very much, Mr. Edmond Daniel P. Martinez, for sharing with us his thoughts on cryptocurrency. So, hindi dapat matakot sa cryptocurrency. Parang big words lang, but with your explanation, I'm sure that all of us would have, an idea of what it is and somehow be interested with you with this kind of investments. Okay. Okay. Again, with distinct honor, I'm pleased to present the plaque of appreciation to our distinguished speaker, Mr. Edmond Daniel P. Martinez. The citation reads, again, may I request the personalities in the panel room to open their cameras for a photo opportunity with our distinguished guest speaker. One of our panelists, Mr. Martinez, is Mr. Afat Martinez. Kapangalan mo, baka nawawalang kapatid. Okay. Okay, the citation reads, Philippine Institute of Certified Public Accountants, Commerce and Industry Sector, in collaboration with ACPAC, Metro Manila Geographical Area Office, Metro Manila Region Committee on SMP and SME, Committee on Professional Development, present this plaque of appreciation to Mr. Edmond Daniel P. Martinez, Vice President for Business Development, Philippine Digital Assets Exchange, for his invaluable contribution as resource speaker on the topic Unlocking Cryptocurrencies during the PICPA nationwide Business and Career Summit, given this 29th day of September 2022 at the PICPA Building, Show Boulevard, Mandaluyong City, but via Zoom. Okay. Signed, Dr. Erwin Vincent G. Alcala, PICPA President. Lolita P. Tang, Vice President for Commerce and Industry of PICPA. Ms. Arceli A. Rodriguez, Sectoral Director for Commerce and Industry of PICPA. And Mr. Teodoro Josephat C. Martinez Jr., President of ACPA-C. Again, thank you very much, Mr. Edmond Martinez. Siguro magkamag-anak kayo nga ni Afat. He's there. You can see him on video. So, Kevin, for the photo op. Thank you. On your cue.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. One more. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay na po.
Again, thank you very much. That wraps up our morning session. Before leaving the room, please do not forget to accomplish the post-test and the post-evaluation survey that will be posted in the chat box. As announced earlier, you must accomplish this for you to earn a certificate of attendance. So it's very important. Okay. But before we end this morning session, we'd like to again acknowledge our partners in this summit. Co-presenter, PICPA Metro Manila Geographical Office, PICPA Metro Manila Region, Chartered Institute of Management, Owishi, oh wow, Liwayway Marketing, our gold sponsors, BOPI Marketing Corporation, East West Bank, and One Tax. For our silver sponsors, AB Institute of Accounting Philippines, Boys and Paint Philippines Incorporated, Fort Meridian Hotel and Suites Subic Bay, Clio International Marketing Corporation, Nutritive Snack Foods Corporation, Progressive Poultry Supply Corporation, Q&E Software Philippines, Seabass Carriers Inc., TOA Global, and our bronze sponsors, Asian Institute of Taxation, Harvest Agribusiness Corporation, and Strategic Dimension Company. We would like to remind everyone that there is a career fair corner in the WUVA platform where you can visit job postings and job offerings with our sponsors. All the video presentation in the summit can be accessed within 3 months from the date of publication here at WUVA platform. Amazing, no? So you can watch it over and over again using the link provided in joining this summit. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this morning in the PICPA Nationwide Business and Career Summit Day 4. Again, this is a 5-day event with 2 sessions per day. Please stay with us until this afternoon and until tomorrow. Okay, so we'll start broadcasting later at 1:30 p.m. Hope to see you. And again, a big thanks to all of you resource speakers, moderators, program participants, secretariat, and of course, to all the attendees for the day. This again, your host, Mai Sige Bistar, and see you later. God bless everyone. Have a good lunch.
Quick to adapt, we pivoted on a pinhead with agility and resilience. We thrived in the face of adversity. dug deep, converted obstacles into opportunities, and emerged with an invigorated mindset and a new resolve. And, as we've always done throughout our history as a profession, we harnessed that resilient spirit and passed it on to members, students, employers, global economies, and society as a whole. Out of disruption and chaos, we did what we always do. We led. We were influential advocates for COVID-19 relief and economic recovery across the globe, becoming the go-to resource for news, tools, guidance, and learning. We rolled out the CGMA Finance Leadership Program globally, a new online pathway to the CGMA designation, and launched remote testing of CIMA qualification exams for the first time. And we introduced new learning resources and tools on data analytics, digital strategy, and managing risk, shifting all CPD events to virtual platforms to prepare members to be future ready. We also ramped up our support for environmental, social, and governance reporting, and assurance and risk mitigation, central issues to the profession's future role. On the jobs front, we posted nearly 1.3 million positions in the US, the UK, Europe, Asia, and Africa on the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants Global Career Hub. And as always, we kept our focus on advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion in the profession. We've brought confidence to individuals, organizations, and the world's financial systems. Our foresight and preparation helped transform our organization and the profession during this crisis. Change won't ever stop, but we can ride the momentum of this moment and create trust, opportunity, and prosperity in new, innovative ways. We were ready, we adapted, and we will continue to thrive.
Yan ang pangangasim.
Ang kiliti sa panga mula sa crunchy asim ng Oishi Cracklings.
Asim! Sarap! Pangangasim Oishi Cracklings.
If symptoms persist, bili na sa sukang tindahan.
Paano maging hot? Mag-spicy Oishi prawn crackers. Just feel it, flex it, and fire it up. Ba't ka mahihiya when you're hot? Spicy Oishi prawn crackers. Itodo ang hotness.
Nilamon ng kakanood magdamag, lumamon ng Oishi Crispy Patata. Nalamunin mo sa sarap. May something.
Some transactions like big cash deposits can't be done online or through the ATM, so you really need to go to the bank. In these cases, you need to be in and out as fast as you can.